It is time for Okoboji Broadcast with Jeff Thie, broadcasting from historic Arnold's Park Amusement Park. Welcome to Okoboji Broadcast, everybody. We're getting ready for the holidays, and my name is Jeff Thie. We have with us here today Dr. Zachary Borus, MD, MPH, Family Medicine, OB at Lakes Regional Healthcare. And Doctor, first of all, thank you for joining me here today.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Boy, I tell you, I know how you guys are absolutely spread so thin at the hospital right now, and we definitely want to take every step possible. Here we are, the holidays are days away now, Doctor, and those times when we're used to getting together with family and celebrating and all these things, and let's face it, right now we've got to be very careful. Lakes Regional, and I got to tell you, you and Jen Gustafson do a fantastic job. I love the videos that you put out, the information that's put out weekly on COVID cases and so forth. You guys at Lakes Regional are doing a fantastic job.
Appreciate that. Thanks. Yeah, we're trying to be as transparent and open with the community about what's going on here as we can. So, more information is better.
Yes, it is. Yes, it certainly is, Doctor. Well, let's get to the 7 tips and maybe discuss them a little bit. Tip number 1, decide what's most important and err on the side of caution. What does that mean, Doctor?
This is probably my biggest point here. So really, as you said, this is a time when families usually come together, when we have big gatherings, and really this year, that probably is not in everyone's best interest. And so really, what's most important for a lot of families is just togetherness, and everyone needs to make their own individual choice about what is most important in their situation. So if that is seeing people in person in a way that you haven't perhaps for some time, then that's up to you, and you can certainly do that. I would just encourage erring on the side of thinking before doing that about really what are the potential ramifications of that. So if you're having grandma over, and grandma is over 65 or has diabetes or has heart disease,
right?
Grandma really ill if one of your kids has asymptomatic COVID and gives it to her. And so potentially not having that in-person visit with someone outside of your household, that would be the safest, and that's really what's being recommended by the CDC, trying to limit actual in-person visits to those who are in your immediate household. If you do decide that it's worthwhile, then doing it as safely as possible with as few people as possible, as we'll get to in some of those other ones. But There are ways that are not in person, and we'll get to some of those, but right now that's probably what we would recommend the most, trying to limit the size and limit the scope of those gatherings, because it's not even just grandma, but say you're having another family over and they then are exposed to people at work, or they then could get ill and expose other people that they might live with or come into contact with. So it's really those ripple effects. It's not just the direct exposures, it's those secondary exposures. And I just read about a small wedding that took place in Maine a couple months ago, where there were 270 cases that came out of that as the ripple effects, and 7 people died. Yeah. And it was only a 30-person wedding that was outside and seemingly safe, but somebody was there without symptoms and got tested 2 days later, and by that point they had spread it. So that happened at holiday gatherings, and that's what our concern is.
Well, and on a side note from that, Doctor, the fact that our major university and colleges are letting out early this year for the semester, and now we're going to be welcoming back our sons and daughters have been away to college, and bringing them back into our households. What should they be doing as we get ready for the holidays here? Should they go into an isolation? Should they get tested before they come home? Just some ideas of what can make their transference to home life again for a while safe for everybody.
Yeah, good question. So, unfortunately, as we've seen, there have been a lot of cases already at universities and colleges. And so some of these kids coming home may have already had it and recovered from it. And so if that's their case, then they are unlikely to have it again because of the time frame, and unlikely to transmit it to others. Right. But still err on the side of caution in general. If they haven't had it, or if they're not sure if they've had it, then yeah, in all truth, they're coming from a place where often it's been endemic and even higher prevalence than it is here. And so I would say, if at all possible, they should try to wear a mask when they're inside with the family. They should potentially isolate and be safe. If they do have access to testing where they are, then use it before they come home. And if not, then Test Iowa will be open Monday through Wednesday of next week and next Friday.
Right.
But they're not going to be getting processed on Wednesday or Thursday, so there may be a lag through next weekend just because the State Hygienic Lab is going to be closed for the holiday. So,
yeah, and we're right back to that erring on the side of caution, just taking measures, being careful. And the second point kind of feeds into the first one. You kind of touched on it with limiting the number of people and households involved. I mean, I love a full table and a full household during the holidays as much as anybody, but right now, taking care to not do that is very important too.
Indeed, yeah. Ideally, limit the in-person to your own household. If you do decide to bring in others, try not to have it be from 5 different households. Try to have one other family there if you can, and make sure that everyone in that group has really assessed their own risk and the risk of those around them, who they might work with, who they might live with, so that they're not exposing other people and creating that ripple.
And the third point, Doctor, and I'm just kind of amazed at the people that have ignored this, and it even goes back to if you've got when the flu, a head cold, staying home if you're sick or if you've been exposed.
Right. I mean, it should go without saying, but we are unfortunately seeing a lot of folks who do have mild illness, who are either not getting tested or who are still going about their day and assuming that it's not COVID. But really, this is so prevalent here right now that we can't make any assumptions. So I would say, if you're feeling at all unwell with any of the signs or symptoms of COVID, which, as you know, are broad, so it can be, everything from cold symptoms of congestion, runny nose, sore throat, to terrible diarrhea, to true severe illness of not being able to breathe well, get tested and stay home. And it's not worth going to someone's house for Thanksgiving. And if you know that you've been exposed, so you've been within 6 feet of someone who has it and who has tested positive, then you should also be in quarantine.
Yeah.
So,
and here's one that may be tougher to get people to get in line with, but wearing a mask at all times when not eating. You're used to having family home and so forth, and even sometimes wearing a mask out of doors is kind of foreign to people, and they can be resistant to it. Wearing a mask at all times when not eating during Thanksgiving, it may be a little more difficult, but it's a great idea.
Well, I mean, so this is how we actually do things safely, and how we do it even more safely. Kids are resilient, they can do it. Adults are certainly able to do this. Masks, except in very, very limited circumstances, are tolerable. Is it fun? No. Right. But is it going to hurt you? Not at all. So, out of respect for the people who are around you, and out of caution, wearing a mask reduces the spread drastically. Yeah. And we've just seen a new study that shows that it protects you when you're wearing it, as we know that it does protect other people from you. And it's about 95% effective, even with a 2-layer cloth face mask on 2 people. It reduces the spread of those particles, so that if you are asymptomatic even, but are speaking aggressively and the droplets are spraying, they're just going to mask. So, is it weird to wear a mask when I'm at my in-laws' house? The 2 times that I've been inside of their house in the last 6 months, yeah. Is it weird? Sure. But do I feel far safer if they're wearing a mask and I'm wearing a mask for those special functions? Yeah. And we're not doing that again. But if we chose to do so, that's how we would make it safer.
Yes.
And eating, you take it off, but we'll get to distancing too, but there are for that. So.
Yeah, right. Well, and here's an easy one, and it's going to be even easier because it looks like our temps for Thanksgiving Day are going to be fairly mild, and it's
beautiful.
Open the windows, ventilate the place.
Darn tootin', yeah. I mean, really having ventilation, having cross breeze reduces just the volume of the aerosol particles inside of your home. And so, yeah, if you can open a window, open a door, crank your heat up if you need to, but get some air moving in there. If you have fans or air circulators, turn them up, and just try to get some fresh air going through. Or if you can eat outside with heaters or under a tent or something, try it. Lots of people are getting creative.
Right. We've certainly got creative here in the last 8-9 months, that's for sure. Point number 6, don't share. Now, that's not much of a problem for me because I'm the captain of the Clean Plate Club, so no one has to try to share my food, but don't share during the holidays.
So, I mean, that goes with, as you said, not cleaning up or eating from each other's plates, but it also, a lot of it goes around utensils and how you're serving the food. Yeah. So, big thing is have sanitizer at the beginning of a buffet line if you're going to have a buffet line, so that only clean hands are touching serving spoons, serving utensils, etc. But really, perhaps having one person who is masked and has already sanitized, dishing out the food and passing it along, just sort of cafeteria style. It's what we're doing at the schools. It's what we're doing at the hospital. Right. It's just safer. Everyone touching everything. So again, reduces that transmission from surfaces.
Yeah, and where we might be used to having everything on the table and taking our portion and then sharing around, don't do it that way. Go with the 2 suggestions that you just had there. And of course, we're all familiar with the term, but it's a great way to keep yourself safe, keep others safe, socially distance.
Yeah, so again, this is a little foreign, right? I mean, we're used to having a big table and everybody together. And so socially distancing in the setting of a gathering sounds a little bit funny, but one way that one can do it, if you're having 2 households together, say, you can all be together wearing masks in the living room, chatting beforehand, and then when it's time to actually eat and you have to take your masks off because you can't eat through a mask, perhaps have 2 separate tables that are 6 feet apart or more. Yeah. So you can still be with your family or friends, but have each individual family in a small pod in one place and another one just across the room.
Yeah, right. Again, utilize those card tables. Maybe you've got a large island that you could have a few people at the dining table, have a few people at the island, use a card table, get out the TV trays and sit on the couch, whatever it takes to keep people apart. Exactly.
And, just have one family at one table, one family at the other, and it's safer that way. And then when you're done eating, put those masks back on, and then you can get back together physically.
Oh, very good. Well, Doctor, I appreciate you taking the time to share these 7 steps with us. And again, I just want to express my gratitude to everybody at Lakes Regional and Rivera, all the hard work, that being on the front lines, the endless hours, and just the overwhelming experience right now. So for myself and for all of us, thank you to everybody at Lakes Regional Healthcare.
We appreciate that, Jeff. Thank you, and keep yourself safe, keep everybody safe, and if everybody keeps doing their part, we can beat this, and we can get through to when there is a vaccine available where it's really going to, at that point, finally be conquerable. But until then, we just got to keep plugging away.
Yeah, so keep safe until that vaccine is available, and hopefully mass distribution when the time comes. Doctor, thank you again. Dr. Zachary Borus from Lakes Regional Healthcare has been our guest here with us today. We thank him for taking the time with us, wish him a very happy holiday, and we thank you for watching us right here on Okoboji Broadcast. Okoboji Broadcast, broadcasting from historic Arnold's Park Amusement Park, is brought to you by the Scott Troutman State Farm Agency in Spirit Lake, by Pure Fishing, located in Spirit Lake, by Last Touch Painting and Cleaning, providing interior, exterior, and house painting and professional cleaning services in Spirit Lake, by Quest Wealth Management, a financial advisory practice of Ameriprise Financial Services with advisors Jan Spielman, AJ Spielman, and Erica Wachholtz, by Ducky's Marine and Motorsports Repair in Spirit Lake, Bank Midwest, dream big, plan wisely, live well, by Lakes Regional Healthcare and Avera Partner, Brand's Law Office located in Spirit Lake, By Ruthven Locker, where carnivores are welcome on Hill Avenue in Spirit Lake. By Beck Engineering Services, located in Spirit Lake. By B Radiant Laser Skin Studio in the Okoboji Plaza in Okoboji. And by Michael Thorson, Farm Bureau Office, located in Spirit Lake.